Hey Sal, so I thought I'd give you a demonstration of what I had in mind for the background for Sasha, and I'll just start right from the beginning. I'll acknowledge that you did all the heavy lifting here by making this nice mask. So there's Sasha in the mask that you made. We'll copy it, and I'll close that image, paste it into the background. And now I'll move it. I'm looking at Sasha's ears. They separate nicely if you tuck them into one of these little dark spots. So I'll place Sasha right there. And I'm in the cloning tool now. I'm going to get rid of that piece of foliage between her ears so that it's nice and clean now. So her ears separate from the background nicely. Then here's what I had in mind. You got that far with it, but here's what I had in mind extra. I'm going to clone the background. So I'm going to go to the bottom layer and I'm going to blur it. Season to taste. We'll inch it up a little bit. Okay, I like that. And again, I'm looking at how I like that. I like how Sasha blends in with the very far part of the background. So we'll go with that. Go to the sharp layer. I'm in the eraser tool. Take a great big brush and I'll blur, totally erase through to that part. I'll dial the opacity down to maybe 30%, and that's just a guess. And now we'll take one pass here. Didn't do a lot, so we'll make a second pass. And I'll do a third pass. Okay, now it's starting to look like selective focus, like you have a shallow depth of field. I'm gonna erase that third pass. Okay, so I'm emulating a shallow depth of field is what I'm emulating, like you shot with a telephoto lens with a shallow depth of field. And then the third thing I'm going to do new layer, and now we'll attempt to put in some shadow. We've got black selected in the color picker. Dial the paintbrush down to about 10%. Again, just a guess. And the shadow layer is between Sasha and the background. The sun was coming from the left, but Sasha's so fully lit that we'll make it like it's coming from the right. And it was quite a low light. That's not a bad shadow, huh? Getting better. That might be a little bit much. So now I'll go to the shadow layer and dial back the opacity. I like that. Go back to a smaller brush and put a little more around close to the feet. I'm going to go to the Sasha layer and attempt to kind of darken the side that's away from where the shadows are. Let's back that up. I'll take some of that, not that much. And then the leg, we're pretending that the sun is from the right. If you look at her hindquarter, it looks, you know, brightly lit. I'm sure it was a flash. So I'm going to create a little mask here so I'm only dealing with her right front leg. And I want to cast a little bit of a shadow because the left front leg would be casting a shadow. So I'm going to go back to the paintbrush, and that leg should be darker because it's in shadow. And that part is even in deeper shadow, if the sun is where I placed it. And we'll do the same thing to her hind leg. And go back to the paintbrush and darken down, and it would be much darker there. Okay. And select Load Up Sasha. Inverse the selection. So now it's everything but Sasha. And in the Sasha layer, now I'll use the eraser tool to erase any paintbrush that I slopped over on. Like between her legs here, I put shadow here, but I slopped over into the grass. So by having this mask in place, I can erase the shadow. See it disappear? So I erase the overspray of the shadow, if you will. And you can play with the opacity of the shadow, her shadow on the ground. But just a little bit makes it look like she's really there. So now finally I'm going to load the selection again. And I want to feather it by 1 pixel. It just makes it look, it makes the mask look less like a knife cut. That 1 pixel makes the difference between it looking like rubylith and a knife cut, and a little bit of softness. That's where I would have gone with it.